Hi guys, and welcome to By Any Means Necessary. So I'd like to say thank you for all of your comments that you have sent me, every comment that you have sent me. A couple that I'd like to address. Obviously the shaky. Someone's told me that my videos have been very shaky, so I will stop making sure they're not shaky anymore from now on. Um, and obviously, there's been one or two people who have told me to go home. No, I don't know where to go with that one, to be honest, because I don't know if they've got the part of the video where I say I'm English, right? You can't frigging Shemima beggar me. What the hell is wrong with you? But I am pleased that you're listening. I am pleased, obviously, that the racists are listening, because you do need telling. So I'm quite pleased that you are listening. So that is a good thing. So I will go through your comments, and I will like your comments, even the ones that tell me to go home. But when I was told to go home, yeah, strangely enough, yeah, I was actually on my way to Canning Town, so technically it was good advice. But I don't know if they was giving it as the advice to say, well, like, get home safely. I think they was trying to say to me, go home to, I don't know where to go. Because, my dad was from Grenada, and my mom was from St. Vincent. But I consider myself to be an African because I'm like the that Bob Marley song, stolen from Africa. That's who I am. That's who I am. That's what I am. Stolen from Africa. So if you could give me some idea of what part of Africa I'm stolen from, right, then you could have a point, but you still won't have a point because I was born in motherfucking London. And I'm a Cockney. I could hear the Bow Bells when I was being born. I could hear them. Just down the road from me. Right? So, if anybody should be getting the fuck out of here, it should be you. Because clearly you don't like it here. I'm a patriot and you're a nationalist. So, for you, go home. That's for you. Anyway, so look, so I suppose we should talk about some of the Brexit shit that's going on as well. Right? Obviously, we've got more and more empty shelves every day, every day, and things are getting so much worse. Why the divide in this country? I don't get that because all I can say to you is that me, I actually don't really understand racism. I know you're thinking, well, because I live it, but I don't actually understand it because for me, every single person is an individual. Now, I shouldn't need to say that, should I? Every white person I meet is an individual. Every Asian person I meet is an individual. Every black person that you meet is an individual, right? Some of us are tall, some of us are short, some of us smell, some of us good looking, some of us not so. Some of us are rich, some of us haven't got a penny, haven't got a bucket to piss in, right? All individuals. And that's what you've got to remember. And, you know, I will say this to you Brexiters, right? You're not patriots, okay? You're nationalists, okay? And if you look back in history, every country that has been nationalist, yeah, has been fucked up in the end. I mean, look at the nationalist country we've got at the moment, North Korea. They haven't even got internet. Do you know what I mean? Who the hell would want to live in North Korea? I don't even think North Koreans want to live there. Probably most of them probably want to abscond, get away from that shit. We're living in the 21st century, right? And I saw a video of it a few years ago of North Korea against South Korea, and in the night time, North Korea is just completely dark. There's nothing going on there. It's a nationalist society. Is that what you want Britain, the type of thing that you want Britain to be, right? Or you could go back to Nazi Germany, nationalism again, end up murdering 7 million Jews, 7 million. Nationalism, that's where nationalism takes you. all it does is just fuck your country up. And that's what you guys have done to this country. You've destroyed it with your nationalism. Britain is a failing state. So where do you expect us to go? Because I'm telling you this, right? I haven't got any answers. And I can guarantee you that Boris Johnson has no answers. Okay? Boris Johnson's got nothing. He's got nothing in the tank. Right? Because when Boris Johnson says things like, oh, the vaccine rollout, if you remember, we haven't really heard too much about the vaccine rollout now because all the other countries are coming and overtaking us. Okay? So when he's talking about the vaccine rollout and lying his head off every single time, putting on a clown show for you people, waving his arms about, scruffing up his hair, putting on a show for you guys. All right? Oh, we could roll out the vaccine program because we wasn't in the European Medical Agency. It's a fucking lie. It's a lie. And you know what really pisses me off, right, is you Brexiters, you know he's lying. You know he's lying when he says that. But you know what it is? It's the racism gene, right? Lefties ain't born with that. Lefties haven't got that in them, okay? And you know, I've just swore, haven't I, at you by saying the word lefty. But that's what I am. I'm a lefty, right? Because I embrace everybody. I embrace the world as it is, not as I want it to be. If I embrace the world as I want it to be, there'd be no men in this world. It would just be me and all the women. Okay? I would have every single man locked up at the age of 12 years old. Okay? That's the world I want to live in. That's the world I want to embrace. That's my world. And you know, it sounds beautiful. For me, it does. It sounds beautiful for me. Okay? That's the world I want to live in. Right? But I can't, can I? Because everybody's got an opinion on how they want the world to be. Right? Remember that your world, it starts and ends at your front door. Because once you pass over that front door, yeah, there's billions of people who have got different ideas in what they want in the world. Okay? Billions. So I don't know what it is that you're expecting. But you know what? Yeah? Leave your world at your front door. Because outside, there's a whole world of us outside. Come and meet us. Why don't you try doing that? Come and speak to us. You haven't spoken to a black person before. Come and speak to me. Why don't you do that? You might find out. You might like it. You never know. Go up to a Muslim guy that you've never spoken to before. Just go and speak to him. Just say, "Hey, how you doing?" Right? Do you know what I mean? You want something to start a conversation? Say to him, "What do you think about Ronaldo going back to Manchester United?" It's an icebreaker. Okay? It's an icebreaker. Get out there and speak to people. Right? Instead of having all this hate within you because you've been born with a racist gene within you. Try and get it out. It's poison. It's poisoning you. And look what it's done to our country because of that. Right? If you dared to try and even get to know these people, you'd find out that, you know, my mum, right, black woman from the Caribbean, obviously, from St. Vincent, as I told you earlier, right? But she's more motherfucking patriotic than any of yous. Any of yous. But you wouldn't know this. You would never know, right? Because you've never given them a chance. If you knew, right? My mum came to this country with a British passport. Okay? She had a British passport when she came to this country. Every motherfucking morning, they would sing the national anthem in their school. Every motherfucking morning. You have no clue how patriotic, yeah, older West Indian ladies are. Because you've never given them a chance. You've never ever given them a chance to get to know that. Right? You wouldn't know living next door to a fucking Hindu, right? You wouldn't know that if you live next door to a Hindu, all they do is bring you fucking food to your house. You wouldn't know that because you've never given them a chance. You wouldn't know that Asian women only want to feed you. All they ever want to do is feed you. You go to an Asian woman's house. I'm talking about that. I'm just talking about that the slightly older generation now, right? Because, you know, my generation of people are different. You know, the ones that are born here, we're different, right? You know, we're different to our old generation. Our old generation, you go to a West Indian's house, right, and or an African's house, right, and see if you can leave there without eating. But you wouldn't know about the warmth from us, would you? Because you're born with this racist gene, and you need to get rid of it because you know it's destroying our country. Just look at the country at the moment. Just look, right? You want to go to the doctors, right? Oh, this morning, this morning I heard a story this morning, right? Um, a man phoned the radio and said that his wife she needed to see a doctor, right? So well, and I think these people they're in their 70s. I said, well, maybe a couple of weeks time, 21 days, or 3 weeks or whatever, right? But if you go private, we can see it today. So he had no option. Let's pay £85 for the private consultation. It's not. It doesn't sound like a lot of money, but considering how many people in this country haven't got £100 in their bank account, then it turns into a lot of fucking money because now they need a fucking payday loan for a consultation, right? And then you've got a private prescription now, so you've got to pay for the drugs privately, right? That's what's going on in this country. And you Brexiters, you keep on voting for the Tories, right, who have not got your interests. Don't have your interests. They don't care about you. What the fuck do they care about you for? They just want your vote, as per usual. Just your vote. Nothing more. That's it. Just your vote. Right? Brexit. Right? Do you know, I saw a video, of a guy that sells, he runs a cheese company. Right? So, this was, I saw this documentary about 3 months after we had actually left the EU. Right? And by that time, it had cost him £1 million in extra costs. Right? So this guy's obviously, he's pulling his hair out. Because who the fuck can afford that? What businesses can really afford that? So it's knocked out his profits for the last few years. It's knocked out his profits. So who can afford that? Right? So obviously he's speaking to MPs and people like that. What do you think their advice to him was? Go and set up in the EU. That's the best thing you could do. Take your business and set up in the EU. Okay? Well, that's British jobs again. But he's not the only one, because that's the advice they're giving all these businesses. The best thing you can do is go and set up in the EU. Yeah, best thing you can do. Go and set up in the EU. Yeah? So that's our fellow citizens. You and my fellow citizens. Right? Jobs gone. Gone. Right? Our government giving stacks of cash to the car companies to stay in this country. Stacks of cash they're giving them. Because you know why they've got to? Because Britain can't attract, we can't attract any new companies to come here. What are they coming here for? What are they coming here for? To go and sell their goods to countries in the other side of the world, rather than, because the EU market is virtually closed to us. And it's a lot more difficult to get your goods in there now, right? So Britain cannot attract any new big companies. I mean, what's the point in coming here? They might as well keep their ass where it is. May as well stay where you are, right? And then, right, you can sell your wares to you can sell you can sell your wares just as easy from where you are into the EU as opposed to here. Once upon a time, this country was the ideal destination, right, for any of these big businesses who wanted to set up, right, and have access to the EU. Britain was the ideal destination. Brilliant. But no, because of you damn racist Brexiters, right, you fucked up everything. You fucked up the whole of this country. Because they don't want to come here, right? Not even your chief Brexiters want to stay here. Right? Dyson. Where's Dyson? He's a Brexiter, Bryce Dyson. Massive. He's taken his arse and he's gone. Right? And the other one, Ratcliffe, I think, isn't it Ratcliffe? Yeah. Chief Brexiter again. Taking his arse because he knows what's good for him. So he's taken his arse and he's gone into the EU. to go and build his motor vehicles or whatever he does. Gone in there to do it. Point in staying here. Britain's a failing state, right? And it's down to you racists, right? And you should feel ashamed of yourself. And we Ramonas, right, was not hard enough on you, right? Tickling you under the chin, right? When people are saying to you, "Oh, you're all a bunch of racists. You're all a bunch of racists," they're saying, "Oh no, oh no, we're not," right? We should have been saying it louder to you to make sure it gets through to your thick skulls, right? Because you people are stupid. You are stupid racists, right? And your racism, right, has destroyed this once great nation. And I want to know the ideas of what you've got to bring it back, right? Would like to know the ideas, because I'm telling you, I'm telling you straight, right? This country is a failing state, right? Remember when I say to you, "Oh, we're the 5th largest economy." What difference has that ever made to you? Just think of it in this way: if you was the 5th richest family in this country, you'd be minted, right? You'd be minted, right? You'd be driving a Lamborghini, yeah. Like how you see all the guys from Dubai up the West End when they're driving their Lamborghinis, right? That's how you'd be. Electric though, because petrol, right? Right? But that's how you'd be, right? But you can't. But we was the 5th largest economy. Oh yeah, we're so rich. We're so rich. So why the fuck have we got so many food banks in this country? Why are we food bank Britain? No, we're not 5th largest economy Britain. We're food bank Britain. Right? That can take me over to Jacob Rees-Mogg. Right? A man sitting on probably nearly £1 billion and thinks that food banks are uplifting. Uplifting food banks. Not ashamed of it at all. Not ashamed that he's living in a palace, right? And people are living on the streets. Not ashamed of it. Not ashamed of it at all. Listen, I don't really care about whether people are rich or whether people are rich or whatever, right? But you know something, yeah? When you're sitting on that type of money, help people the fuck out. Do something for some people, at least. Right? If I was sat here as a billionaire, I'd be shaming the government every day. Right? I'd be taking thousands of pounds worth of food down to the food banks. Right? But I'd make sure the TV cameras are there with me every single time. To shame them into making sure there's no food banks in this country. Because that's a shameful thing, to have food banks in your country. It's a shameful thing. And that is down to you Brexiters. Because you are the people who have been voting for these Tories all this time. Right? Wasn't the first 11 years, didn't that tell you something? The first 11 years, didn't that tell you something? Right? With the destruction of how they destroyed the country. But it wouldn't do, would it? Because you're thinking with your racist gene. Right? We lefties are not born with that. We embrace the world as it is. Because the world is a very small place now. In fact, it's in your pocket. It's that smartphone you've got in your pocket, right there's the fucking world. Okay? And you think that people in 3rd world countries haven't got access to that. To look at a smart device and think, oh, shit, they got running water. Do you understand, yeah, that living on the streets in this country will be a lot better than living in the 3rd world? Because living on the streets in this country, right, you can find fresh water every day. You can find a tap in a petrol station. Right? How many people you see putting up tents in forests and parks nowadays? Living there. Right? So for them this would be, but that is still better than living in some of these 3rd world countries, right? That we've raided in a lot of the cases, You know. So all I'm saying to you guys, yeah, and I'm speaking to you racists now. You need to come better. Okay. You need to fight the racist gene within you because it's not within us lefties. Yeah. We embrace the world as it is. Try it. You might just like it. Remember what I said. Go up and speak to that Muslim man with a big beard. Go up and speak to the Muslim lady in the burqa. Go and speak to the black lady. Go and speak to the Asian lady. Go and speak to the white lady. Okay? Just go and speak to them. You never know, right? Understand, yeah, that people who want to come to this country and live will be much more patriotic than you. And it's a blessing. It's a blessing for Asian people to be calling themselves English, for black people to be calling themselves English, for white people to be calling themselves English. It's a blessing. Accept it and deal with the world as it is. Don't worry about what your next door neighbour looks like. Just embrace it. That's all. Just embrace it. Your life is not long enough for racism. Okay? Your life's not, why have all that hate within you when you don't need to? Your life's not long enough for racism. If you get say you get the average, there's the three scores and 10. Maybe a couple of singles in there. It's not long enough. 4 scores. No. 4 scores and 10. No. 5 scores. No. 5 scores and a few singles, because you ain't getting 5 scores and 10. Okay? So 5 scores and a few singles. Not long enough for you to tell anybody where they can live in the world. Okay? I'll tell you. I'll give you a little. I'll tell you into a little secret here. I believe in a world with no borders. Okay, but obviously there's rules to that. And the first rule to that is, if you're a murderer, you keep your ass in the country wherever the hell you are. You don't get a passport and to go anywhere. Same goes for rapists and paedophiles. So long as you're not a murderer, rapist, or paedophile, then you should be able to go anywhere you want in the world. The world should be open to you. Because human beings are nomads. I know that some humans can live in 1 square mile for their whole life. But there's a lot of people who want to move around the world. Just let them. Just embrace it. Right? Because when you're no longer here, it's gonna be dust. That's it. When you're no longer here, because there'll come a stage where you'll be dead longer than you've been alive. Okay? So just embrace the world as it is. Don't worry about it. Seriously, don't worry about it. And I'll say, yeah, seriously, just don't worry about it. Just embrace the world as it is. Right? Because the world, the world can be a nice place. Right? Can be. Anyway, so this is By Any Means Necessary. I'm the MC John Ribs. Comments below, and I'll see you guys real soon.